For the first time in years, Carolina felt alive again. Not because of a flashy new coach. Not because of a young quarterback finding his rhythm. But because, in the frozen breath of Lambeau Field, the Panthers rediscovered who they really are, a team built on grit, defense, and pure power on the ground. The world had written them off. The Packers were supposed to roll over them, especially with Carolina wearing those cursed uniforms that fans love to hate. But something different happened that night. Down in the cold, beneath the roar of the crowd, the Panthers fought like it was 2008 again, when toughness and heart defined the franchise. Rico Dowdle, the name barely known outside Carolina, ran like a man possessed. Every carry was defiance. Every yard, a statement. When the clock bled down and the game hung on one kick, Carolina didn't blink. The field goal sailed through, and suddenly, Lambeau went silent. Final score, Panthers 16, Packers 13. A walk-off win in one of football's most sacred grounds, their first in Green Bay since Jake Delhomme was still slinging passes and D'Angelo Williams owned the backfield. For the first time since 2019, Carolina sits above .500, 5-4, and it feels different this time. Not like a lucky streak, but a turning point. A statement that this rebuild has finally grown a spine. Because no matter how many offensive gurus the Panthers hire, or how many quarterbacks come through the door, Carolina football has always been about something deeper. Defense. Physicality. Controlling the clock and making opponents pay for every inch. Rico Dowdle is the embodiment of that identity. He's not flashy. He's not a highlight reel runner. He's raw strength wrapped in relentless will. When Chuba Hubbard went down with that calf issue, Dowdle didn't just fill in, he took over. The burst, the balance, the refusal to fall on first contact, it's the kind of running that wakes up an entire sideline. Even Greg Olsen, a Panther legend, couldn't help but notice. He hits the hole different, Olsen said on the broadcast. There's just something in his get-off, it's instant. And he's right. Dowdle doesn't dance around. He sees daylight and he explodes through it, the kind of back that makes you believe again in old-school football. Meanwhile, Chuba remains reliable, steady, a back you can trust, but Dowdle? He brings fire. The Panthers' backfield may not have a Williams or Stewart anymore, but in Dowdle, they have a runner who can carry that torch. Tough, decisive, relentless. The kind of player Carolina was built for. And if you think this team should trade Chuba Hubbard, think again. This is football. Injuries happen. Seasons get long. But having two backs who can carry the load, punish defenses, and bleed the clock is how this team wins games again. The Panthers didn't just beat Green Bay. They remembered who they are. The Panthers are back in the playoff hunt, and for the first time in a long time, it actually feels real. This team isn't squeaking by. They're imposing their will. And if Carolina keeps playing like this, they're not just fighting for a wild card spot, they're fighting to make people believe again. Rico Dowdle has become the heartbeat of that fight. Every time he touches the football, there's electricity in the air, the kind that makes defenders think twice before lowering their shoulder. He's not just a spark plug, he's a storm. One run can shift momentum, one cut can rip the soul out of a defense. Against Green Bay, he did exactly that, 130 bruising yards and 2 touchdowns on the road, behind an offensive line held together by tape and willpower. No Cade Mays. No Robert Hunt. No Taylor Moton. Carolina's front was a patchwork of backups and practice squad grinders, and yet they still dominated the trenches. That's not just football, that's heart. Dowdle didn't need perfect blocking. He made his own lanes. He turned contact into progress and broken plays into highlights. He's the kind of runner who gets stronger with each hit, the one you hate tackling in the first quarter and fear tackling by the fourth. Chuba Hubbard, the other half of this two-headed monster, brings his own kind of power. If Dowdle is the dragon breathing fire through defenses, Hubbard is the tiger, patient, precise, ready to strike when the opening comes. Together, they've given Carolina something special: balance, identity, and that old-school punch that defines Panthers football. And the craziest part? Bryce Young didn't have to play hero. He didn't need to throw for 300 yards or force anything risky. He managed the game, trusted the run, and made smart plays when it mattered. Coming off a high ankle sprain, he looked calm, poised, even confident. When the pocket collapsed, he climbed instead of panicked. He connected with Xavier Legette and nearly found Teteroa McMillan for a beautiful touchdown, one that slipped through his hands, but not through their chemistry. This is the version of Bryce Carolina needs: composed, controlled, and protected by a dominant ground game. He didn't have to be the truck pulling the offense this time. He got to be the trailer, letting the power up front pave the way. And you could tell he was thriving in that role. Even the Panthers' defense matched that energy. Ejiro Evero had his unit locked in, disciplined, physical, relentless. Trayvon Moehrig picked off Jordan Love like he was fielding a gift-wrapped pass on his birthday, flipping the field and setting up another score. Turk Wharton returned with a vengeance, recording a sack that sent the sideline into chaos. Nick Gordon didn't register one in the stat sheet, but his explosiveness, the speed, the raw power, it jumped off the screen. Every player looked like they wanted to prove something. That's what this game was, a statement. The kind of win that tells the rest of the league, Carolina isn't backing down. They went into Lambeau, in those hideous Packers throwbacks that looked straight out of the leather helmet days, and punched a proud franchise in the mouth. Not with flash. Not with tricks. With toughness. With identity. And maybe, just maybe, this is the moment where the Panthers stop trying to be something they're not, and remembered exactly what kind of team they were born to be. When the Panthers walked into Lambeau, they didn't just win a football game, they announced themselves. And no one embodied that statement more than rookie edge rusher Nick Gordon. Number 11. The first time he burst off the line, the cameras caught him bending the edge so fast it made everyone blink twice. "Wait, who's that?" one fan yelled. For a moment, he looked like Micah Parsons wearing a Panthers jersey. But this wasn't Parsons. This was Carolina's own young monster, a rookie who's already demanding attention. Ike Ekwonu deserves his flowers too. He kept Parsons, one of the most feared pass rushers in football, locked up all game. That matchup was supposed to be a nightmare for Carolina. Instead, it was a showcase of grit, discipline, and pride. Ike didn't flinch once. Every time Parsons tried to swim, spin, or crash inside, he met a wall. A young tackle standing tall for his quarterback, proving that protection isn't just physical, it's personal. And behind that line, the defense came alive. The Packers' run game? Smothered. 86 yards total, that's it. Derek Brown anchored the middle like a mountain, swallowing double teams and daring anyone to run his way. J.C. Horn was everywhere, everywhere. He's not just locking down receivers anymore, he's crashing down in run support, wrapping up running backs behind the line like a man possessed. He's got 4, maybe 5 interceptions already this year, but what's more impressive is how he's doing it, with instincts, aggression, and a relentless motor. There was one play where the Panthers' safeties missed the angle, and Horn came flying out of nowhere, blasting the runner before he even reached the sideline. You could feel it, that old-school Carolina defense swagger was back. This is the team's true identity. Not flashy. Not desperate. Just physical, fearless football. And now, sitting at 5-4, the Panthers are coming home, undefeated at Bank of America Stadium before that fluky Bills loss that barely counts. Andy Dalton was limping through that one with a bad thumb. That wasn't Carolina football. This is the real thing. Next up, the New Orleans Saints. Another division clash, another chance to make noise. The Saints are wounded, unpredictable, and if it's Spencer Rattler under center, the Panthers' defense is licking its chops. Because right now, Ejiro Evero's crew is humming. They're healthy, they're confident, and they're starting to believe. Rico Dowdle's got momentum, Bryce Young's ankle is healing, and that chemistry with Teteroa McMillan keeps growing. You can see it, the rhythm, the timing, the trust. The way McMillan attacks the ball, the way Bryce scans the field with calm precision. Don't be surprised if he finds McMillan twice in the end zone next week. Carolina doesn't need luck anymore. They need opportunity, and they're creating it. This next game isn't just about a win. It's about proving that the Panthers' rise wasn't a fluke. It's about defending home turf, sending a message to the NFC South, and reminding everyone that this team, this young, hungry, battle-scarred team, is officially dangerous again. Forget the Bills. Forget the noise. The storm is brewing in Carolina. This is Carolina football, bruising, relentless, and unapologetically old school. The kind that makes the field feel like a war zone, where every yard is earned and every tackle leaves a mark. Against the Saints, that same mentality has to show up again. Because this isn't just another Sunday, this is about defending the bank, proving that Carolina's fight is still alive. And yet, you can feel something else brewing. Bryce Young looks more confident. The ball's coming out smoother. He's starting to see the field like the franchise quarterback we all believed he could be. You can imagine him spreading it around, T-Mac down the sideline, Xavier Legette bullying corners, and maybe, just maybe, Jalen Coker finally getting that breakout moment we've been waiting for. He's been quiet since that quad injury, doing the little things, helping the offense move. But this could be the game that wakes him up. The chemistry is building. The offense feels like it's ready to explode, just needs that one spark. A week ago, Panthers fans were crushed, beaten down after the Bills' loss. But one win, one dominant, gritty performance, and suddenly everything feels different. Hope's back in Charlotte. You can feel it in the streets, in the stadium, in every fan who still believes. Carolina isn't done, far from it. This team's finding its soul again. And if they keep fighting like this, they might just shock the NFC South. Panther Nation, how do you feel right now? Drop your thoughts below, and let's ride this wave together.